inhale all the way and stretch and just, and as you release, you can sigh it out. And breathe. And as you breathe, and just know that you're in the here and now. That's all you have, right here and right now. Release what happened 5 minutes ago. Release yesterday. Release the entire week and breathe. And if your mind begins to wander or drift, just simply inhale and feel your breath go in and out of your nostrils. This morning, the meditation theme is I accept. I accept. I accept my oneness with God. I accept. I accept my oneness with the one living breath, the breath of God, the inspiration of God, breathing through each and every one of us, animating everything we do. I accept. I accept my greatness as I go within and reconnect in a part, an area of my life that has never been hurt, never been harmed, never been touched. I accept. I accept the healthy relationships with smiles, love, even the relationships we feel did us and we felt a certain kind of way, but it taught us to be a better person. I accept. I accept my abundance. It has my name on it. There's abundance all around me, and I'm one with this abundance. I accept. I accept that the power of my word is strong and that I can speak and say something and it manifests. I accept the power of my word. I accept. I accept my peace, the peace that already exists. I accept. And I take it to that next level. I accept my peace. When there are things that are going on around me that I can't control, you don't have to. Just say, peace. Say that with me. Peace. And you can say it out loud to yourself. Peace. Accepting that peace is much bigger, much greater than anything around you. I accept. There's a scripture that says, "Is there anything too big for God?" And I accept that God and I are bigger than anything else around me. I accept. I accept my promotions, whether it's in life, on the job, even when you're volunteering. I accept, because you're giving more of yourself. And that's what we're here for, to give, to serve. I accept that I'm in service. I accept that I'm here to serve. I accept. I accept that I'm here to give, and I give freely, knowing that it comes back in innumerable ways. I accept that I am the giver first. I accept. I accept my good. It's there for me. I accept. When someone pays you a compliment, it feels good, and just say, I accept. Yes, that is me. Thank you. I accept. And as we sit here, right now, knowing nothing else matters, I accept. Right here, right now. This is where you are. This is where you're supposed to be. And you can be as selfish as you want to with your time, right here, right now. I accept that this is my time. I accept this is for me. I accept being a better version of myself. I accept. I accept relationships, ones that I can give love and express love. I accept. And I accept that love in return. I accept and breathe. I accept the beauty of nature all around me that my eyes can take in. I accept the wonderful and beautiful sounds that come past my ears. I accept. I accept the smile from a baby or a toddler, striking those childlike characteristics in me and you. I accept. Take a deep breath with me and hit that refresh button just all the way in, and hold it. And as you release, sigh. I accept this freshness. I accept. I accept this newness in my life. I accept. I accept this new sense of joy. I accept. And each time I inhale, each time I exhale, I accept that newness, that freshness that I didn't create, but I just take advantage of that newness that God presents each and every inhale and exhale. I accept. And breathe. I accept that I have this unshakable confidence inside of me. And if in a time that you come into an area or a situation where you're not sure of, just say the word power and breathe. Confidence and breathe. Knowing that Spirit gives that direction. As we wind down, you can say with me, I accept. And you can say it out loud. I accept my power. I accept my wisdom. I accept that knowledge. And I accept my spiritual direction. Yes. And breathe. And as we slowly bring our consciousness and awareness back here into the room, you can bring your breathing back to normal. You can feel the floor underneath your feet. You can feel the texture of your seat. And become fully aware when you're ready. Thank you so much for joining our morning meditation. We'll have a meditation video, and our service will start shortly after that. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. And so it is.
Gather up the brokenness, bring it to me now. The fragrance of those promises you never dared to vow. The splendor that you carry, the cross you left behind. Come healing of the body, come healing of the mind. And let the heavens hear it, the penitential hymn. Come healing of the spirit, come healing of the land. Behold the gates of mercy in arbitrary space, and none of us deserving of the cruelty or the grace. Oh, solitude of longing, where love has been confined. Come healing of the body, come healing of the mind. Oh, say the darkness yielding that tore the light apart. Come healing of the reason, come healing of the heart. Oh, troubleness concealing an undivided love, the heart beneath is teaching to the broken heart above. And let the heavens falter, let all the earth proclaim. Come healing of the altar, come healing of the name. To lift the little bud, oh, longing of the arteries to purify the blood, and let the heavens hear it, the penitential hymn. Come healing of the spirit, come healing of the land. Oh, let the heavens hear it, the penitential hymn. Come healing of the spirit, come healing of the land. Come healing of the spirit, come healing of the land. Come healing of the spirit, come healing of the land.
Yes, indeed. And one, and we are live. Welcome to live streaming, live service from the Ahiah Center for Spiritual Living. We are in the miracle zone here. I'm telling you, we are grounded by nature and celebrating the rising of the divine feminine. A new day has emerged. Yes? Yes, yes, yes. Well, I'm Reverend Michael Bernard Lattimore, your associate minister, and I am back from, Spirit said, arise, so I am back from Yes, indeed. Walking through the desert. And I have arrived at the promised land. For those who do not know, 2 months ago, maybe, I guess it was, chasing my daughter's dog, Layla, I slipped and I fell. And I broke the strongest bone in my body. And had it not been for your prayers and the grace of God, I would have been in a body cast, a full body cast for 2 months. But Spirit had other plans because the hospital I was supposed to go to had an 8-hour wait for beds, and they sent me to USC Keck. And for those who don't know, they have a trauma team, an orthopedic surgeon trauma team led by Dr. Joseph Patterson. Young man. I mean, but he told me, he said when he was 16, he knew that this was his path. And he led a team for 7 hours that put me back together. And he promised me that the day after surgery, I would be standing upright, putting my full weight on that leg. And he was right. I hobbled to the bathroom the next day, and I said, wow, what a miracle. And your prayers made that possible. I am not confused. I know that only prayer pulled me through that experience. So I stand before you upright, standing on my leg. My physical therapist told me today, he said, when you do the stairs, remember, strong leg up, because I got a strong leg over here, and then this one here is coming along. So yes. So thank you for your prayers and your presence and your practice. Because these spiritual principles, they work when we practice them. And they give us a promise. It's like gravity. We throw the ball up. It doesn't respect the person it comes down. And spiritual law is the same way. When we practice it, we get the promise every single time. And I stand witness to that. So welcome. If you're here for the first time or the second time, welcome home. We have a seat with your name on it. And definitely, I am so grateful to be here. Yes, indeed. So thank you, Rev, for, yes. And then thank you, everybody, for sending me the flowers and the cards. And, you know, healing is a real thing. It's a real thing. And our topic today is grounded by nature. And, you know, what that refers to is that we're grounded by each other because we are nature. We are God made manifest. We were created out of God's stuff. There was nothing else to create us out of. And so we're created out of the same thing that we call nature, the ground, Mother Earth, and one another. We're all connected by that silver thread. So we're going to have some fun today because in the house is Connie Rouse. Karen is with her, a beloved angel of light. Yes. And then, you know, we got the Sunday band, Chris Glick tickling the keys. Indeed, he's our musical director. And we've got Leon Johnson on the bass. Satoshi's holding up the rhythms, the percussions. Yes, indeed. Welcome, brother. So good to see you. So we are about to have God's party here. You've heard our theme, the rising of the divine feminine. We've got our congregational song just getting ready to start up. Reverend Scott's going to deliver our theme, wisdom talk, grounded by nature, and I will support him with a power talk today. Good to be back in the house. So let's buckle up, family, and get ready for some love. Thank you, family.
Thank you
Thank you. Good morning. My name is Frederick Southern. I'm one of the practitioners here at Ahiah. Well, good morning. I love you too. Thank you so much for joining us today here in person and online. Join me, please, as we go within for our morning prayer. As we take this moment to go within, recognizing the power, the love, the wisdom, the abundance, going back to power, knowing there's only one power, and that power is God. Knowing that power is good, knowing that that power is in and everything that we do, that we manifest. And I give thanks for that. And as we embark upon this Sunday, grounded by nature, you can see God do its thing. From the trees that grow, the flowers that grow, they go into hibernation and they come back. They don't argue with God. They just do. And neither should we argue with God, knowing that that trust is there. And we can learn by nature as we're grounded in nature and just follow what it does. And we can do the same thing. So I give thanks for this identity. I give thanks on today for Reverend Scott, Reverend Michael Lattimore, the band, our singers, and we are here to serve and be in service. I give thanks for connecting with that power. I give thanks for connecting with that wisdom. And I give thanks that we can always go back to that black dirt and be grounded in that dirt that we can't make, but we can use to plant a seed and to give it back to us, whatever we plant in that dirt. That's nature. That's being grounded. So this day, just make up in your mind that you're planting love. You're planting peace. And you're reconnecting with it. And I give thanks. Thanks be to God for that. So I released this prayer in the law, knowing that the law does its thing, knowing that it's going to do what it's supposed to do. And we are to do what we're supposed to do, and that's plant that seed. I let it be so. I let it go. And all together we say, yes, and so it is. Well, so happy to see Reverend Michael Lattimore back with us today. Yeah, round of applause. And yesterday, our very own Reverend Scott had a birthday. You know, God is going to do one of two things. He's either going to give you another round or give you a 2-minute warning. So God decided to give Reverend Scott another round. Oh, I'm getting a cramp. Don't make me laugh. I'm getting a cramp. Don't make me laugh. Okay, divine patterns. I'm reading from 365, Science of Mind. Divine patterns. There is a divine pattern for humanity. And within this pattern, there's a variation that individualizes each and every one of us. This is why the Bible says that we should act in accordance with the pattern shown to us on the Mount, Sermon on the Mount, a symbol of high consciousness. So when we lift our thoughts above all of that confusion, we become aware of that spiritual cause behind everything. And it's no idle statement to affirm that the perfection of God as the center for all things, manifesting through each and everything in a unique way. We should spend more time meditating upon the harmony, the beauty, the peace, and the joy that exists in our very being. We cannot believe that our inner wholeness was created by us or it came through by some process of evolution. It's quite the opposite. All evolution is a result of an action of an imprisoned splendor that exists in the center of all things. I want to say that again. All evolution is a result of an action of an imprisoned splendor that exists in the center of all things. Say that with me. Imprisoned splendor. Say it again. Imprisoned splendor. I like that. Today I seek the divine pattern at the center of my own being, affirming its reality. I permit this essence to flow through me, claiming it as my very own. I embrace it. Believing in its beauty, I sense the harmony. Accepting its peace, I am calm. Living in its love, I am unified with life. Believing in its power with a childlike faith, I accept the authority of all this action in my daily affairs. And looking at the God in humanity, I see in myself the pattern of God's perfection. I see each and every one of us in the image and likeness of God. In our scripture, and there are diversities of operation, but it is the same God which worketh all in all. 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 6. Happy Sunday.
Thank you, Frederick. Oh, so good to be here with you. I got our singers coming up, and as they're coming up, I just want to, first of all, remind you that this is a welcoming, loving community for everyone who wants to be here. And I want to take this opportunity to just say hi, do a nice little Ahiah wave to the people around you. It's always lovely to be in community, and while you guys wave to everybody here, I'll wave to all the folks that are at home. So glad that you're here with us also. And so, Connie, Karen, take it away.
Thank you. Good morning, beautiful, precious Ahiah family. Very good to be with you. I, of course, am joined by my dear, beautiful friend, Karen, who my heart is so blessed by her. So glad that she could be here with me. And we have some old friends from Namaste here, too. It's good to see Julie and Cheryl. Yeah, so glad you could make it. I was thinking about some of the traits of the divine feminine energy. And some of those are, I guess it's sacrificing for the greater good, vulnerability, the part of us that wants to nurture. And I like what Reverend Michael said earlier about grounding, being grounded to nature, and us being grounded as one. So we're going to share a song with you that kind of speaks to that. I'd gladly walk across the desert with no shoes upon my feet. Feel the last bite of bread I had to eat. I would swim out to save you in your sea of broken dreams. Tell you what love thinking. Let me show you what love means. Love
Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? I would whisper love so loudly every heart would understand that love and only love can join the tribes of men. I would give my heart's desire so that you might see. The first step is to realize that it all begins with you and me. Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? And when we stand together, it's our finest hour. We can do anything, 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 anything. Keep believing in the power. Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? Oh, yes, I do. Love can build a bridge. Love and only love. Between your heart and mine. Between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time?
Love can build a bridge, for sure, for sure, for sure. I love our music here. I do. Yeah. Thank you, band. Thank you, singers. So, March theme, Rise of the Divine Feminine. And March is a lot of things, besides my birthday month, you know. It's besides that, it's also kind of the beginning of spring. Harris, can you turn on the big camera up there so that the people at home can see the new backdrop? So Gabriel snuck in here on Wednesday and swapped us into spring now. So we have desert spring going on. Oh, you know what else it is time? You know, in March, at least this March for Ahiah, it happens to be today is the day after a huge, absolutely huge quinceañera for Sophia, one of our teens. It was held down in San Pedro last night. What a big affair. Oh my God, there was about 200 people there. Every last one of our teenagers was there, which probably means that 0 of our teenagers will be here today. And their parents to boot. I know that some of them were staying overnight, you know. And, you know, it was a great time. Sophia came out. You know, there's a lot of aspects to a quinceañera, and at the beginning of it, there's a ceremony, and she came out in this red dress that was just gorgeous with a tiara, of course. And the dress was one of those hoop type dresses, you know, it's out wider than my arms, you know. And I'm surprised she could walk in it, but she did just fine. And, you know, there was pomp, there was pageantry, there was everything that we needed in the world for allowing and recognizing her going into her 15th year. And today, actually, is her birthday, her actual birthday. So, Sophia, happy birthday. So, you know, one of the things that happens is that a priest does part of a ceremony there. And they give presents during this part, and some of it is to recognize her step into being a woman, a young woman. And some of it is a little old-fashioned. You know, there was a part that talked about purity, right? Which, you know, is a little bit of an old-fashioned idea. But there was also aspects of strength and community and support and independence and interdependence. And I think it was just quite beautiful. And so I did lean over at one point and I asked Gabriel, I said, well, what do they do for the boys? I've never seen a boy have a quinceañera. And he says, they do nothing. So this is the rise of the divine feminine, right? Showing up this way. So, you know, what this is, though, and I want to talk about it for a few moments, is it's a rite of passage, isn't it? You know, it's a recognition of a change for Sophia from being a child into being a young adult. And, you know, there's importance in rites of passage. There's part of a rite of passage is kind of societal in nature. It puts up what is our norm for this event? What is our norm for you to go from child to young adult? And it also helps the person that's having a rite of passage to actually see themselves step across that threshold of whatever it is that the rite of passage is for. And so there are really important aspects, and I think that in some ways our culture has gotten a little bit away from having these rites of passage. You know, we don't have them as much as we used to. But let me ask you guys, what kinds of rites of passage have you participated in or seen? What have you seen out in the world as a rite of passage? Weddings, absolutely, yeah. And you know, there's an interesting thing about weddings is we have this huge rite of passage for a wedding, and we do nothing for the divorce. You know, if it happens, we hope it doesn't happen. I'm not dooming every wedding, you know. But, you know, there are a fair number of divorces that happen every year, and we don't do anything. Don't you think it would be wonderful if we acknowledged the fact that there's been another change, there's been a different threshold that has been crossed? Yeah. What other rite of passage? Graduations, yeah. Yeah, you know, sometimes all the way from my son went through a kindergarten graduation, right? And then he went through a 5th grade graduation, and then a middle school graduation, then a high school graduation. And this year, my youngest son will do a college graduation. He's a senior this year. Yeah. So, yeah, graduations. What else do we have? Birthdays, yeah. Bar mitzvah and bat mitzvah, What was that? Baby showers, yeah, recognizing the birth of a child,
You know, my Belanta people have fanado, initiation for young men.
fanado. We should bring that to Ahiah. Yeah, initiation for young men, absolutely. In fact, at one of my previous centers, we used to do that for our young men as they turned 18. Yeah. Memorials, absolutely. Yeah, memorials, funerals, memorials. We experienced one here in 2019. No, not 2019. 20 whatever it was. It was a couple of years ago. My ordination. Right? That's kind of experience, right? In 2018, Reverend Mike's ordination. Yeah, so there's all sorts of rites of passage. And these are the formal ones. Foundations class, yeah. So the beginning of learning about this philosophy, that's a great one. In fact, we'll be starting up a Beyond Limits, which is another one of the foundational classes in April. So, you know, what I would suggest is actually that you look for reasons to have rites of passage. You know, when you start a new job, have a rite of passage. When you leave a job, no matter what the circumstances, have a rite of passage. You know, I think it's good for us because it puts us in a place of recognizing the change. And sometimes, you know, in making those changes, we have to let go of certain things and embrace other things. And so it's a good way for us to see, where are we now? Remind us of where we are in our world and in our life. So, Reverend Mike, you want to come on up? We're going to have Rev do a power talk. Let's hear a little bit about what he thinks about the rising of the divine feminine. A strong leg up.
Thank you, Rev. I love this topic. God morning, family. The rise of the divine feminine. This morning in meditation, Frederick Southern brought to us the idea of power. Power. Some of you know that I recently did African ancestry last year and discovered my Belanta roots. The Belanta people are in Guinea-Bissau right now, but they migrated from the Nile Valley 1,000 years ago. And they have a word for power. It's called faye. Faye. Power. Power. And it communicates that there is power not only in us as human beings, but in our connectedness, in our relationships. There is fire in our relationships. And so when I think about this, mixed in with the rise of the divine feminine, you know, I think of the women who raised me and who taught me that a man has both masculine and feminine sides. My grandmother used to say I was sensitive. Oh, he's a sensitive child. But that's all right, baby. You know, she would say, you just got a big heart, you know? And she would honor me for that instead of shaming me, you know, for that. And I'm really grateful to her. And, you know, as I near her age, I am now channeling her, you know, the things that she said, you know, things like, well, my grandmama talked a little funny because she dipped snuff, you know. In her day, they couldn't smoke cigarettes, so she used to dip a little snuff, make her talk a little funny, like. And she would say, baby, she said the knee bone is connected to the leg bone, and the leg bone connected to the hip bone. Everything is connected, baby. You remember that, you know? And she was reminding me that we are connected, always connected to fire, to power. It is in us. It's the imprisoned splendor, right, Frederick? The imprisoned splendor that is in us. And you know, when I think about that, I think about this thing we call lightning. You know, lightning is a phenomenon that when we see it, we go, whoa, whoa. When we hear the thunder that's saying that the lightning is coming, we go, whoa, whoa, you know. And so in the realm of meteorology, we got this lightning, but in the realm of science of mind, we have a concept called spiritual lightning. Spiritual lightning. It is that which proceeds to ground. You know how lightning goes to ground? It goes to a lightning rod. We can attune ourselves to be that place of receptivity so that that spiritual lightning will go to ground, which is what we are. And then we are able to carry that spiritual lightning to those around us, to the world at large. Right? So that even years after we have gone, our word, which is fire, our power, will still continue. And so we carry within us the word of the mother of our mother's mother, 1,000 generations back, the father of our father's father. 1,000 generations back, we carry that fire, that prayer for our fortunate birth. Because we are up to something here. There is a purpose for our life. Like, we're not just random seeds that sprouted up. Like God said, let me just throw out some wildflower seeds, see what comes up, right? No, there is purpose in us. Purpose in our power. We are being called. There was this thing that said, you know, many are called, but few are chosen. I think the call went out on a loudspeaker, and we're the ones who said yes. We showed up here because we have a power, we have a purpose, we have that fire in us. And it is nurtured and cultivated through our connection. You see, when I sat on my porch that day when I broke my hip, I knew I was broken. And I went immediately to the power. I went immediately to Mother God, Mother, Father, God, come and get me, pick me up, because, you know, I was powerless, right? And a voice came to me and said, listen, 36 years ago, you were broken in your mind, your body, and your spirit, and I lifted you up. And I will come and get you here. And through a strange turn of events, the hospital they wanted to take me to had an 8-hour wait for beds. And my daughter said, no, take him over to Verdugo. And they took me to USC Keck, and the orthopedic surgeon there didn't respond. And they sent me over to the East LA. And then, thank you so much, brother. I love you, Harris. All right. Harris is in practitioner class. He's listening. Yeah. Yeah, so they took me over to Keck, and the surgeon didn't respond. So they sent me over to the East LA to the other Keck, right, where they had this crack team of orthopedic surgeons who 7-hour surgery put me back together. It was just like one coincidence after another occurring, right? Looks like synchronicity, but we know, that's the cosmic coordinating committee, right? That was spirit doing what it does, right? When it orchestrates spiritual lightning, when it orchestrates this healing. The morning after my surgery, the surgeon from this hospital, and I shouldn't put him on Front Street, but I need to say this. He came to my room 6 in the morning. He said, listen, he says, I saw the call, I saw your x-rays, and I knew you deserved to be worked on by a team of orthopedic trauma specialists. He says, and that's why I didn't respond, and I just wanted to make amends to you, And I thought that was a great act of integrity for him to take time off of his rounds, and say, I want to go and make amends to this man. But because of what he did, I got a chance to be, healed by this team of youngsters. I'm going to call them youngsters because they were all young, young women and men, right, who had a love for this work. They loved what they did. And that was why this fire, this power manifested through them in such a divine way, to put me back together. So I just want to remind you that there is fire in you, power in you, and it is available on demand. All you have to do is call it forward, because it called you forward. Even before you were formed in your mother's womb, it knew your name, it knew your nature, it knew the special quality of power that it was putting in you. It knew what your purpose was, and it's available to you in every moment. That's what I know. And I'm so glad to be here, standing in front of you in the miracle zone, right? And I didn't have to get in that body cast for 2 months. So I'm happy. I love you, family. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you, Rev.
Yeah. Oh, my God. We know there are no such things as coinky-dinks, right? Yeah. Oh, and the power of God. Let's just absorb that for a second. The power of God, the power of Spirit, whatever you want to call it, it doesn't matter. It all comes back to the one. And we can feel that power right here at our hearts. So this week, talk title is Grounded by Nature, Grounded. Rev mentioned a little bit about this idea of electrical grounding, right? He talked about lightning bolts coming down. Well, there's a reason why that grounding works. I'm a physicist, so I always kind of start thinking about things there. I even, this week on my birthday yesterday, we got great news in our family. One of Gabriel's cousins has been accepted to Caltech as a freshman. And he's waiting on Thursday. He really actually doesn't want to go to Caltech. He wants to go to MIT instead, which I don't know. I might have to throw him out of the family if he goes to MIT when he had the chance to go to Caltech, my alma mater. But anyway. But the idea of grounding from the physics standpoint is, you take something and you insert it into the soil, into the ground. So your house is grounded because somebody has taken, depends on the soil type, but somewhere between a 3-foot and a 6-foot or 10-foot long stake and pounded that thing into the ground. And then they hook some wires from that to your electrical box, and then that goes all throughout your house. And what happens is, because the earth is so big, you can think of it effectively as being infinite as far as we're concerned. That whatever charge happens to come along, it gets absorbed into the ground. Just absorbed. And so what that means is there's no charge that can be created. There's no electrical voltage that can be created. Which means that if you're connected to that ground, you are always at zero potential, which means that you're always just grounded. Another word for that might be centered, for instance. So when you have an electrical appliance that starts going a little wacky on you, which could, if it's not grounded, you touch it, right? But because it's grounded, everything has been, all the force, all the terror, all the things that shouldn't be if you're at center, they've been taken away, right? So electrical grounding is like that. We also have kind of personal grounding. And, no, I forgot. This is, by the way, a picture of a quinceañera. It's not Sophia's quinceañera. But there's a definition for us to be mentally grounded, right? And it says, it means that we're well-balanced and sensible. Who doesn't want to be well-balanced and sensible, right? I think I want to be well-balanced and sensible all the time. You know, because the opposite is imbalanced and, I don't know, stupid. I don't know. Who wants to do that? So, you know, we might call it centered. That's another way of saying it too, right? So we're centered in our well-balanced sensibility. What does it mean to be metaphysically grounded then? Well, it means that we're connected to something that is so immense, so immense. We feel it here. We feel it in our heart. Not up here. Not so much anyway. We feel that immenseness that Spirit is. And you know, just like electrical nature, when electrical items are grounded, they can take any amount of charge. When we are grounded in Spirit, we can take any amount of disturbance, of things that should take us away from our center. We can have any amount of that. And what happens, you know, in the electrical sense, when you get this thing, electrons just move. You know, charge just moves to dissipate that voltage that was supposed to, you know, that would be there if it wasn't grounded. But Spirit, when we're spiritually grounded, activity happens, right? The power of Spirit goes on the move, just like Reverend Mike was talking about today. Coinky-dinks start to happen all around you. Action happens. Things become created in this form, in this life, in your life. Reflected all around you is the centeredness that you are. And everything, the power of God, is at your disposal. And it takes those actions and brings you back to center. That's what it means to be centered. Now that sounds pretty good, doesn't it? It sounds like something you want to have in your life. But you know, not everybody actually wants that at the moment. They don't. I used to have a friend of mine who was manic depressive. And in her depressive state, she would do anything to get out of that, but she didn't have the power to in that moment. But in her manic state, she didn't want to be grounded, right? She felt invincible, and she loved that feeling of invincibility. It's hard to give something like that up. And also, to be grounded, sometimes what we have to be is we have to be present with our emotions too, to be centered. We have to be willing to be present with our emotions. And sometimes all we can want to do in a moment is not to feel. Sometimes that's what happens. I just don't want to feel another moment. And sometimes to be centered is asking us to be vulnerable. To let our vulnerability be. And sometimes that's scary. And we don't want to do it. And sometimes, oh my God, this is my big one. Sometimes to be centered, you have to let go of control. Yeah. You know, and it takes practice. Letting go of control takes practice. It really does. The more you do it, the easier it becomes. But sometimes, you know, you're just in that mood, I don't want to let go of control. And so, you know, it's not always just so simple to be centered. But if we practice more and more and more, it does get a little simpler. So let's talk about what does it take to get me to a place where I am grounded, where I am centered. Well, you know, there are lots of spiritual practices that will help us to attain centeredness. I think the one that pops into mind all the time for everybody would be, starts with an M, meditation. Yeah, mindful meditation. Just recognizing what is happening in this moment right now. Not what has happened in the past, not what we're projecting could be happening in the future, but what is happening right now. And what we find, for most times, I mean, every once in a while there is an actual lion in the room. And it's asking you to take action, right? But most of the time, the vast majority of the time, there's no lion. It's a projection. It's a worry. It's a concern. It's something that we have, you know, decided that the world is not safe. But the world is a safe place. When all is said and done, God wastes nothing. And so whatever steps in, whether it's a lion or a bear or whatever, oh my. Lion, what is it? Lions, tigers, and bears, oh my? Yeah. Whatever it is, you know, Spirit can handle it. So we do mindful meditation as this way of reminding me that I need to live in this now moment. Another one that helps us to be grounded is creative expression. Whatever you like to do. For instance, this morning, I'm finishing my talk. This is a creative expression for me. It's a way for me to put down on paper and then to talk to you guys what is going on in my heart. What is happening here? And when we do that, when we get in touch with the trueness of ourselves, when we get in touch with all that we are and we put that out into the universe, whether it's a drawing, a painting, a story, I don't know, a doodle, it doesn't really matter. Whatever you do, just some sort of creative expression will help you to become centered. And then there's gratitude practices. There's ways of us allowing ourselves to recognize the good that has come to us, the good that's in our life right now. And why does that work? Why does it work? Well, there's a simple thing. It's called the law of attention, right? Not the law of attraction. That's slightly different. The law of attention. And the law of attention basically says that you will create more in your life of whatever you pay attention to. And so if I'm paying attention to the things that are on the cons side of the list versus the things that are on the pros side of the list, I'm going to create more cons. I want to focus my attention on the things that help me the most. Let Spirit take care of the other side. Let Spirit call into action through the power of Alana. Was that it? Faye. From the power of Faye. power that lives inside of us, the power that we are connected to so naturally. A last way of becoming grounded is to just connect to spirit. Connect to spirit through nature. Through nature. You know, why is it that everybody wants to have an ocean view? Why is that? You know, it's funny because I love watching this show, International House Hunters, right? And they take people and they go from, you know, whatever country they're in right now to whatever country they're moving to. And if they're anywhere near the ocean, it's always, I want an ocean view, I want an ocean view, I want an ocean view. Why is that? What is it about the ocean that calls us so much? Is it the blueness of the ocean? I don't know. The peacefulness, yeah. The magnificence, yeah. To me, it's the infinite quality of the ocean, the fact that it just goes on forever as far as I can see. And so there is this thing of nature where it connects us to that sense of awe. Do you guys get that sense of awe sometimes? You know, they have a word for that. There's an actual word for that sense of awe when we have it towards the divine. It's called numinous. You have a numinous feeling. And so when we have a numinous feeling, what we have is we have this feeling of connection to something that's so much larger than us. Something that I can't understand. Something, you know, Ernest Holmes used to say there's a power greater than you in the universe, and you can use it. And he also used to say there is a power greater than you in the universe, and it can use you. And I think when we connect to the you can use it, where I can use it side, that's a feeling of power. But when I connect to that other side of it can use me, that's where I think I have more of a numinous feeling. I have more of a connection to spirit, of really knowing that I'm being held, that I'm enwrapped and enfolded in all the love that God is. And so this numinous experience, a sense of presence, of awe and wonder, a sense of transcendence. You know, as I was talking about earlier about the electricalness, you know, electrical nature, it's the same for us. When we're connected to that infinite supply or infinite power, that's that numinous feeling. And so for me, you know, I was thinking about it, and I was thinking about a couple of incidences for me where I've had that really numinous feeling. One of them was when I was in ministerial school, and one of my fellow students, Reverend Michael Heinlein, we're both now Reverends, we weren't then. And he had a spiritual practice of going to the ocean at night and meditating. He lived in Huntington Beach, and he liked to go down to the ocean at night and meditate. And so he offered the entire class he would take us all down there at night to the ocean, we would meditate. And 4 or 5 people said yes, and then they started dropping off. You know, oh, I don't know, I don't want to go to the ocean at night. It's dark, and God only knows, you know, the lions and the tigers and the bears, oh my. So I went with him. And I remember that night like it's right here. I remember going down, and I had never meditated at the ocean at night. I've meditated before at the ocean during the daytime, but this was a completely different feel. because since you're not really seeing the ocean, the sound of the waves are much more intense. And then there's a little bit of bioluminescence, just a tiny little bit, in the waves as they break. And there's just a connection for me. There was a connection for me to the divine in that moment. Another time was being at the Redwoods. I love the Redwoods. The ones up in Northern California, just south of the Oregon border. That could be a home for me. And I was walking there one day, and just the whole immense nature of the Redwoods, when you look up, you start craning your head up to see the top of the trees, and you crane more and more and more until you're just looking straight up. And it's a different feel than the ocean, because this is more about life. This is more the feeling of all this stuff around me that's alive. And where is my place in that? As a human, we want to think of ourselves as the center of everything. But instead, when we let go of that need to be the center, then we become part of the one. And that's the feeling I had in that moment, was being a part of Spirit right there, right then. And so we are always able to connect to our own centeredness through Spirit. Sometimes when we're trying to be centered on our own, then we get tripped up. We get tripped up by some of the things I mentioned before, needing to be present with our emotions and letting go of control and all of that stuff. We get tripped up by that. But if we allow ourselves to just connect with Spirit, with the oneness that Spirit is, and just allow all that worry to drain away, all that otherness to drain away into that immense capacity that Spirit has to absorb everything that is not like it, then we can find ourselves grounded. And so I have an affirmation for you showing up on our screen here. Let's say it together. I am grounded as Spirit. Is that what it says? Oh no, I didn't switch the thing. Well, let's say it together. I am grounded as Spirit. I am grounded as Spirit. It's a good, just simple reminder of who we are and what we are. And so as you go out into your week this coming week, what I'd like you to think about when you have an opportunity is I'd like you to think a little bit about rites of passage. How can you create more rites of passage in your life when they're needed? They're not needed every day, but when you step across the threshold of something in your life where you say, I'm just done with this. I'm moving on. I'm going over here. I'm done with being over there. Reverend Mike does a wonderful burning bowl ceremony at New Year's Eve every year. It's a great way to put something down on paper and throw it into the fire and be done with it forever. It in itself is a rite of passage, right? And so think about that as you go on through your week and ask yourself, how are you helping yourself to be grounded? I put 3 ideas up here that we talked about: mindfulness, meditation, creative expression, and gratitude practices. And then find a way to have that numinous feeling. Connect with Spirit. Do it however you need to do it. You know, we offer a fair number of things here that help you to have those types of connections. You know, we have the healing service on Wednesday every week on Zoom. We also have things like Christine is doing, not a kirtan, you're doing the yoga nidra, today. And we have a kirtan that's here every month. We have a number of things for us to connect in a way that is different maybe than some of our other practices. So I invite you to take advantage of that. But however it is, whatever practice you put in place, sometimes I know that we're not quite sure what to do, and that's okay, because all we have to do is just let Spirit guide us. Thank you, and namaste. And so Chris is going to play a little bit underneath this prayer as we just anchor these ideas into the one mind that Spirit is. I just invite you to come along with me as I drop down inside of myself to that place inside that knows and knows that it knows. This life, this power, this presence, this life that is bigger and more expansive than we can ever be, and yet we know that we can use it and that it can use us. We know that life as being all the love and all the peace and all the joy, all the balance and harmony in this universe, all rolled up into the one divine life. And we, each and every one of us, is an individualized expression of that divine essence. And so as we come together right here, right now in this prayer, knowing that to be the truth of each and every one of us, what I know is that the truth of each of us is that we are that life divine. And so that life that is God, is love, is moving through us and as us. It shows up in all the connections we have with everybody else. It shows up in the divine acceptance, the grace that God is. And it shows up in this place inside of us that because of the love and the acceptance that God is, we know that we are that life. We are whole, perfect, and complete in all of our beingness. In the divine essence that we are at the very center of our beingness. We are whole, perfect, and complete. And so as we move through our day, what I know is that truth, it sustains us and it guides us. It centers us. It takes whatever is not aligned with Spirit and it just absorbs it. And it creates whatever activity is needed in order to bring us back into the center of our beingness that we naturally reside. And for knowing that to be the truth, I just give thanks. I give thanks for that knowingness, and I release this prayer to the law, knowing that it's already fulfilled in the mind that God is. And I say life and God are good and very good. And together we say, and so it is. Amen and amen. And so now is the time for our conscious contributions. And so if you are here in the sanctuary, there are offering envelopes in the pews. You can go ahead and put your offering in that, put your name on it so we know who it comes from. And we have Dorothy and Sandra coming up the sides with the offering plates. And if you are online, there are 3 ways to give. You can give by going online to ahiah.com and choosing the /donate all the way on the right-hand side and going to Breeze. And you can give there, or you can go to Give Butter and give by Venmo or PayPal, either one of those. Or you can always text to give by texting the word give to 616-229-2225. Or you can also just send in a check. And I love getting the cards and the notes from you guys, so thank you very much for that. And so we have a blessing here for that offering. Let's just go ahead and take that, put it right next to our heart here. And let's say this together. This gift I give is God in action. I send it forth with joy, confidence, and ease. I am blessed by the law of giving and receiving as I now share my gift with life. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over. And so it is. Amen and amen. And so we've got Connie and Karen back up here. What you got for us?
All right, thank you, Reverend Scott. So Karen and the band and I are going to do a song about our Ahiah, our power, or your power.
Who, what you want? Who, baby, I got it. Who, what you need? Who, you know I got it. Who, all I'm asking is for a little respect when you come home. Just a little bit. Hey, baby, just a little when bit. When you get home, just a little bit. Mister, just a little bit. Hang on to your wrong while you're gone. Hang on to your wrong. I don't wanna. All I'm asking is for a little respect when you come home. Just a little bit. Hey, baby, just a little when bit. You get home, just a little bit. Hey, just a little bit. I'm about to give you all my money. All I'm asking in return, honey, is give me my purpose when you get home. Hey, baby, when you get home, just a little bit. Hey, just a little bit. Your kisses, sweeter than honey. But guess what? So is my money. And all I want you to do for me is give it to me when you get home. Hey, baby, whip it to me when you get home. Just a little bit. R-E-S-P-C-T. Find out what it means to me. R-E-S-P-C-T. Take care of TCB.
Suck to me, 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 suck to me.
Home,
Just a little bit,
no respect.
just a little bit,
I get tired.
just a little bit,
Keep on trying.
just a little bit,
You're running out of
just a
food.
little bit,
I ain't lying.
just a little bit.
Stop when you come home, or you might walk in and find that I'm gone.
Just a little bit,
R-E-S-P-C-T. Find out what it means to me. R-E-S-P-C-T. Take care of TCB. Oh, baby.
suck to me, suck
No
to me,
respect.
suck to me, suck to me, suck to me,
Oh,
just a
baby.
little bit,
No respect.
just a little bit,
I get tired.
just a little bit,
Keep on trying.
just a little bit,
You're running out of
just a
food.
little bit,
I ain't lying.
just a little bit.
Read a 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 respect.
R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Well, if that ain't the rising of the divine feminine, I don't know what is. Let's give our band another applause. All right. So, seriously, I know the teens are all sleeping in. Miss Lisa is not feeling well also, so she's sleeping in. Malachi decided not to show up today because all the teens are sleeping in. So I know that Susan was here with Maya, I believe. So we'll go ahead and do a couple of announcements and see if they show up in a minute. And so just reminding you that today, I'm sorry, what's that, Nancy? I think she's going to get them. I just saw Myrna going. So I just want to remind you, today is the last day to put in your application to be on the Board of Trustees. The nominating committee is waiting with abated breath. I once wrote on a paper at Caltech, I was tired and I wrote, "I'm waiting for you with bated breath," you know? And the professor actually called me on it in the middle of class. He's like, "What, you've got a hook in your mouth?" No, bated breath, bated breath. So we're all waiting. If you would like to, love to have you. And then we have today, Sky, come on up for just a second and tell us a little bit about your workshop, Yoga Nidra.
Thank you so much. Yes, today I'm doing Yoga Nidra today. Also chair yoga as the precursor. So if you haven't done any yoga, this is very, very easy, gentle. I'm gonna just move some energy because we need to get that stuck energy after sitting in the pews, for quite some time. So definitely we're gonna move that out, and then we're gonna lay in Shavasana, or there's chair. So you don't have to stay in. If you have back problems, I definitely would love you to be protected. And if you have any issues, please come to me. But dress comfortably. Don't eat too much right before to have a more comfortable experience. Okay, so thank you so much, and please join us.
Susan, why don't you come on down? Give us a little bit of music.
Thank you. Happy birthday, Reverend Scott. I didn't say happy birthday to you when I saw you earlier. Yay! So we're a mighty two this morning. And so what I had planned was a little drawing and painting lesson when we used brush pens, which are really fun. So show them what we did. We did Easter bunnies. Isn't hers adorable? Yeah, that's what she wanted to work on, so that's what we did. So that took up all our time, huh? Yeah.
Okay. Oh, all right. So we also have a music healing circle coming up with Tom Rossi on the 13th. That's a Wednesday night. And then we have, we have the women's circle this Friday. And let's see, the theme is, I can't read it on this. It's a little small for me, but it is, put your mask on first. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so Women's Circle, that's led by Lisa Ortiz and Patricia Roach. And that's Friday from 7 to 9 p.m. And then next week, we have hot potatoes loaded with love. So we have a fundraiser for helping to get our teens to teen camp. And this is a great way to support our teams because, it's good food. Believe me, $10 is nothing compared. I took Gabriel to breakfast the other day. It was $55. So $10 for a baked potato is nothing, right? So that's next week. And then, Frederick, you want to talk a little bit about the men's group meeting?
Good morning once again. Men's group is an opportunity for men to be in a safe space to express themselves. In addition to that, the youngsters that are there, we can be a mentor to them and a mentor to each other. There's a scripture that says, if I be lifted up, I will draw all men unto me. Well, if I be lifted up, that is the love, the support, the spirituality. If that is lifted up, I'll draw all men unto me. So for those of you here, you have a personal invitation to the men's group next Sunday. And I invite you to invite one person with you to come out and join us. There will be snacks, so that's taken care of along with the potatoes. You can bring that in as well. But come on out and enjoy the camaraderie with some men. Thank you.
Yeah, the last one, I was blown away by the last one. We have about 13, 14 guys in the room, and yeah, something like that. And, the age range from from, I think, like Ellis and everything at 14 were the youngest to, oh, I don't know, Frederick might have been the oldest, I don't know. So they had a lot of fun. I got to, kind of sneak in the last few minutes of it, and I enjoyed the heck out of it. So next week, men's group. And then we have the save the date for the Ahiah annual meeting. I believe it's going to be the 7th. We don't have that officially confirmed until I get it from the Board of Trustees as being the confirmed date, but I think there's 99% chance it's the 7th. So go ahead and put that on your calendar, and we'll be nominating, or we'll be electing new Board of Trustees members for that. Remember, Jackie and Deborah are going off the board. Patricia is actually also scheduled to be off, but she's only been on the board for less than a year. It's just because she filled a spot that was vacated by an earlier person. So I believe what we'll be doing is asking the membership to extend her term. And so anyway, it's an important aspect, but we'll also be doing other things. We'll be talking about where we've been and where we're going. And it'll be a lot of fun. You do not have to be a member to be there. You do have to be a member to vote. And we're right down to the very last days. So if you are attending here regularly, if you are supporting Ahiah, you are committed to Ahiah, and you want to be a member of Ahiah, come chat with me. Love to have you. Okay. And we have Creating the Beloved Community. This is a week from tomorrow. And we have an announcement from Reverend Jane. So I'll just hit that now.
Hello, everyone. Reverend Jane Midgley coming to you from Albuquerque, New Mexico. It was so wonderful to be in person with you last month. And I'm really excited to let you know that Reverend Scott and I will be co-facilitating a 4-week workshop session. And it starts Monday, April 8th from 6 to 8 p.m. on Zoom. And it's titled Embodying Racial Justice for White Folks. And this has 2 purposes. First, we want to develop and enjoy community with each other. And second, to participate in a safe and loving space to explore the internalization of our racist culture on ourselves and how it's diminished and affected our lives, and also work toward healing from all of that and strengthening thereby our ability to show up as a beneficial presence in community, beloved community with people of color at Ahiah and in the wider community. So as you know, for many years, over 3.5 years, the people of color at Ahiah have been meeting in the Ubuntu Circle. And we want to begin to develop that kind of community for the white folks, because the strongest multiracial communities have both things going on, people doing their particular work, and then weaving together that work as they come together, which we at Ahiah have through the Building Beloved Community monthly meetings. And as the great Reverend Howard Thurman and theologian said, we have to practice how to do this, how to be in multiracial community in a racist society. And so we've got to do our part in practicing as well. So I would really invite you to join us. There's more information on the website. Let Reverend Scott and I know if you have any questions. And I look forward to seeing you there.
And I would love to see you there. As she points out, the Ubuntu Circle is going to be meeting on those same dates, right? So it's a way for us to come together in community. It's different, right? But it's the same type of work. It's a way for us to support each other as we all learn and grow. So that's 4/8 is the start date. And then I just want you to start thinking about Cinco de Mayo is coming. So we're going to have a lot of fun here. We do need some help with this event. We're going to need a little bit of money. We also need to get volunteers to help out with the event the day of, and also decorating before and things like that. So talk to either RC or Myrna Morales, our new practitioner. And then I want to remind you, every day, Monday through Saturday, is our prayer and conversation from 9 to 9:30 on Zoom. We have a book study on Tuesday from 7 to 8:30, Healing Circle on Wednesday from 7 to 8:30. And what our practitioners who were able to pray today, I know I see Jackie back there, if you'll go ahead and just stand. I see Jackie, I see Chris, there's Reverend Mike and myself. I think Frederick had to leave. And so we would love to pray with you for a 3 to 5 minute miracle prayer. It's a great way of going. We also have Ministry of Prayer online, so you can always send in a prayer request by going to ahiah.com/prayers. And only the ministers and the practitioners ever see what's on that website. We have dial a prayer for a little lift me up during the week. Just go to the website or call into our main phone number and hit option 6 or 7. And so let's go ahead and have the singers come up. We're going to do our final congregational. If you'd like to stand, that would be wonderful.
I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. I let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for
Yes, indeed. So our benediction is up on the screen here. Let's say it together. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called life. Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Life is in all of my affairs. I accept it. I am it. And I share it. Just the way it appears and just the way it appears not. Thank you, life. Amen and amen. So we have some birthday cake in the fellowship hall. Would love to have you come and celebrate all the birthdays of this month. And if I don't see you there, then I hope to see you next week. I love you. Thank you. And namaste. Bye-bye.
Precious.